And now it's emerged that several stakeholders in the trucking industry held meetings with the South African Police Services over the weekend regarding the possible strike action in the road freight sector tomorrow. They include representatives from the Department of Labour, the Road Freight Bargaining Council, the National Truck Drivers Foundation, the All Truck Drivers Foundation and the others. The parties distanced themselves from calls of a national shutdown and from tomorrow and agreed that anyone found committing unlawful activity should be arrested immediately and prosecuted. Well, to tell us more, we joined via Skype from Durban by committee member of the National Truck Drivers Foundation, Beverly Short. Beverly, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, do you want to tell us what emerged of that meeting between yourselves and the SAPS?
Well, we were all united in condemning the strike going forward and condemning any violence. Yes, it was mentioned that anybody caught damaging vehicles or committing violence should be arrested immediately and dealt with as a criminal offence. Us as National Truck Drivers Foundation and the other members that were present in the meeting, we all committed to withdraw ourselves and distance ourselves from the strike.
So which organization then has called for this national shutdown?
It's extremely difficult to pinpoint who the person is. The best way we're going to find out is once people have been arrested and interrogated and they find out who they belong to. There's no other way other than getting the intelligence on the ground.
So for those who will be, for those truck drivers who will be embarking on this national shutdown, where do they get the directive from?
The truck drivers themselves are not the ones that are striking. There is an element, it could be an element of criminality, which it actually sounds like, that are going around forcing truck drivers, taking away their vehicle keys, pulling them out their trucks, asking for different documentation, and then causing damage to the vehicles or chasing the drivers away. The drivers themselves are not willing participants in this strike.
All right, in as much as some of the concerns raised by the truck drivers, whoever they are and whomsoever they got the directive from, some of these concerns are valid, like better employment conditions, improved salaries. Don't your members, accede to such demands?
Yes, a lot of them are valid. I do agree with you. However, there is also an element of, people talk about scarce skills. This term keeps getting bandied about, and it's totally misunderstood. We have a natural attrition of older drivers. Then we have a very small pool of current drivers, and we have a large pool of unemployed licensed drivers. Now, these unemployed licensed drivers cannot become employed unless they have a minimum of 3 to 5 years driving experience. So how do they get this experience if they are not given the opportunity? And that's why there's such a high unemployment rate amongst drivers.
So Beverly, moving forward, will your truck drivers partake, not really partake, but be on the roads as a precautionary measure?
We have asked our drivers to stay off the road tonight, and we will monitor the situation as it goes during the course of the day tomorrow.
All right, Beverly, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
That was Beverly Short from the National Truck Drivers Foundation. Now, staying with the trucking industry, the South African Transport and Allied Workers Union, Satawu, the majority union in the transport industry, was not part of the meeting with the police over the weekend on plans to deal with tomorrow's possible strike. We're now joined on the line by Satawu's Deputy General Secretary, Anele Kiet. Anele, a very good evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Evening to you and your listeners.
Why was Satawu not part of the negotiations with the South African Police Services?
Unfortunately, we haven't received any invite to that meeting.
Okay, I was just in conversation a short while ago with a representative of another trucking, a trucking foundation, who's saying that they don't know who called this strike and they will not be a part of it. In as much as they'll be staying off the roads, but they will not embark on this national shutdown. Will Satawu be part of this shutdown?
No, look, we are a very disciplined organization as Satawu. We are members of the bargaining council. Each and every time when we have issues that relates to the industry, we approach the bargaining council and we declare disputes to the bargaining council. So at this point in time, we have no dispute that warrants us to go on the street. So therefore, we are not forming part of whatever industrial strike that needs to take place tomorrow as Satawu.
So will your members then be on the roads?
No, look, if you go back to what we have raised some time back, we said it is important that we guarantee the safety of our members. So if employers, they don't have a plan B in terms of what needs to happen tomorrow, we can't encourage that our members must go out and rest themselves, because as you know that our stance is that this particular action have an element of criminality in it. So therefore, we really want to expose our members to that. So therefore, we will call to all employers that are in the bargaining council that we bargain with not to expose our members to a risk. So therefore, we call upon our members to stay within their plans and we'll be engaging with their employers to say, look, it is important that we save the lives of these workers. So for us to lose one worker is too many in the country. So it is important that employers understand that workers, with the risk that is involved, they don't expose our members to that.
As it is now, it is a finger-pointing exercise, because no one can in particular pinpoint who is responsible for making that call for all truck drivers to embark on this national shutdown. Do you are you at all privy to such information as to who called for this strike?
We are not privy to that information, but we hope and trust that with the intelligence that we have in the country, we'll be able to know who's behind the strike. We hope that, obviously, if Satawu goes on strike by tomorrow, you will be able to see that this is Satawu. So we hope and trust that the role players of this particular mass action that has to take place tomorrow will be able to show their face tomorrow.
And these truck drivers who will be embarking on this strike, whoever they are raising valid concerns such as improved working conditions and improved salaries. Don't your members also have the same concerns, and how is Satawu addressing those?
No, as I said earlier on, we are a member of the bargaining council as Satawu. We have structures within the organization. There are periods where our members embark on a negotiation process where they come to the organization and say, these are the demands that we are putting on the table. And we, as an organization, were obliged, as it is our duty, to make it a point that we deal with issues that affect our members. We raise those issues. So if it happens that whilst we have an agreement in place, and therefore our members, given the challenges at the point in time that emanate from the economic conditions, wants to raise issues, they come back to the organization and raise those issues. And we are duty bound to raise them with the bargaining council outside the agreement that has been there. But at this point in time, we are yet to receive from any structure of the organization issues outside what we have already agreed on as a party council. So to answer your question is that we are puzzled as an organization that there are workers out there who might not be members of Satawu, but they belong in this industry. And they know that there's an organization called Satawu that they can raise their views through it. But they tend to approach those who are bogus that we don't know, which we want to know by tomorrow, who are they, and then we'll be able to address those issues. So as Satawu, we are not aware of any issues that workers within the industry have concerns about, which they never took time to come and address them with us.
Now, on Friday, the International Cross-Border Traders Association has called for the protection of its members, particularly foreign bus and truck drivers. I mean, have any special concessions been made to offer protection to those?
Can you repeat your question?
The International Cross-Border Traders Association has called for the protection of foreign bus and truck drivers. Do you know if there's any special concessions that have been made to protect foreign truck drivers?
As I've said to you, we've been not part of these negotiations, so we are not in a position to comment on that particular issue. But you will know our stance as an organization. We are not against any foreign workers as long as they have right papers to come and work in our country. We are prepared to work with people as long as everyone respects the laws of this country, because that's where the problem is. If I were to represent Satawu today, I would say to you, our members as an organization will have a problem with people who will come and accept lesser salaries on the basis that they are faced with economic challenges wherever they come from. Because that on its own makes employers not to be able to respect the workers within the country. But as an organization, we support that anyone who is having legitimate documents to work in the country, legitimate documents to be in the industry that we are talking about, they can come and work our country as long as they meet all the requirements, so that employers don't start to look down to the workers that are in the country who are supposed to be in the industry on the basis that they want full implementation of the terms and conditions that are negotiated in the bargaining agreement.
All right, Anele, thank you so much for joining us. That was Satawu's Deputy General Secretary, Anele Kit, just reacting about the planned national shutdown of the trucking industry. And I spoke earlier on to Beverly Short, who's also a member of another trucking foundation, and they've both distanced themselves from the planned national shutdown, saying that they don't know who issued the call for truck drivers to embark on this national shutdown.